Okay. Hi, guys. It's muggy out here. I'm going to make it quick, I think. I guess the intention was to mention, let me see, I wrote it down on a piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things in under 5 minutes that are just annoying the hell out of me right now. That's actually probably an understatement. A gross understatement.
Dead.
They made me go, this is interesting. And you know what those words mean when somebody says them. It's been making me think lately. Just the total chaos that is going on in the minds of so many people that think they are okay. And they don't seem to even question the things that are going on around them. So the first thing is Georgia House Bill 1084. Heard about that. And I'm looking at my notes. Georgia House Bill 1084 is to prevent the teaching of divisive concepts. Other people are defining what divisive means. And that very definition is a convenience for some. It's a luxury. While it's weaponized towards others, I believe. It says Georgia House Bill 1084, 2021-2022 regular session. And the summary is a bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 20 of the OCGA, which you know means the official code of Georgia annotated, I believe, relating to education. Okay? So as to prevent the use of and reliance upon curricula or training programs which act upon, promote, or encourage certain concepts, with exceptions to provide for related matters, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. Now, I didn't read the whole thing, but I read a lot of it, okay? I think they were talking about nine things that they believed were divisive. But, I was going through a lot of it, and it was so funny, because when I got to number 97, and I mean, I only printed 5 pages out of this, and it had many, many more pages, but here's number 97, okay? It said, prohibit the use of curricula that addresses the topics of slavery, racial oppression, racial segregation, or racial discrimination, including topics relating to the enactment and enforcement of laws resulting in racial oppression, segregation, and discrimination in a professionally and academically appropriate manner and without espousing personal political beliefs. And I say, how is this going to be done? Yeah, you don't want teachers to make children feel a certain way that makes them feel indoctrinated. But at the same time, to say in this law, prohibit the use of curricula that addresses the topics of slavery, racial oppression, racial segregation, or racial discrimination, what are you talking about? And I think that they called it the, oh gosh, I forget what it's called, Protect Children's Act? And my question is, what children are you protecting? Who are you protecting when you omit a chunk of history that has everything to do with where you sit right now? I mean, who are you fooling? Who are you trying to fool? Protect the children. Protect the children from what? I don't think it's considered protecting someone when you omit and you lie so much that their brains become fragmented, uh, and they can't think properly. That becomes a situation where you've done that to your own children, not the history itself. It's so ridiculous. It reminds me of the movie Rosewood. Do you remember that movie Rosewood? I think Don Cheadle was in that movie, and Ving Rhames. Talks about the massacre that happened in Florida. And there was this part where, I forget the actress, great actress, she comes out. She's playing the mother to Don Cheadle. She's was basically the woman who raised all the men, the white men in the neighborhood of Rosewood. She was their wet nurse, probably. And she comes out after her son had been accused in the movie of raping a white woman, which did not happen. But they used that as a justification to go massacre everybody in the town. In the movie, there was this part, and this is a spoiler if you haven't watched it. I think it was on HBO years ago. In the movie, when she knows that the crowd, the lynchers are coming for her son, Don Cheadle, I forget what his character's name was. She goes out there because she thinks her word will mean something, because she raised these men that are coming to lynch her son, and they're telling her, move out of the way, we're not here for you. But we want your son. And she knows what that means. That's a death sentence, right there on the spot. And this was a cover-up, so they could take their anger and hatred out on the black people that lived in that town. But in the movie, she's trying to hide her son at that point, I think. And she comes out as the mother who believes that she's known these little boys who are now men since they were infants. She took care of them more than their own mother did. And we know the history. And she goes to tell them the truth, that her son did not rape anybody. And if they were going to be real with themselves, they knew what, I think the woman in that movie, her character's name was Fanny, what Fanny had done. But right before she got out the truth, I don't even remember the line. It was like, if you would be honest with yourself, right? And then a shot rang out, and they shot her right in the chest. They didn't even give her the opportunity to say anything else. And that reminds me of this bill. Hey, let's do away with history that addresses anything before the formulation of a feeling happens. Meanwhile, everybody else, you have to learn all the history that we want to teach in the way that we want to teach it. Because no, that history that we decided isn't hostile towards you. It's not divisive towards you, because we said it's not. But this history that offends us and maybe our children or hurts somebody else's feelings, we've decided that this is what constitutes divisiveness. All I can say is, how much control do you need to make yourself feel okay? It's interesting. Second thing, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this name right. It is Moalola Ogunlesi. I think she's a Nigerian designer. She had this little Spring Fashion 2023. I don't watch that stuff. When my daughter was really young, and she started sewing on her sewing machine. She's a painter, but she also sews. She's been sewing for a long, long time. Very good at it. That used to be one of her dreams. That's what she was going to go to college for, to be a designer. And she started seeing things. People wearing certain things and doing certain things that were just beyond nonsensical. And she changed her mind. I told her, you're still designing things, and you're still making things, and people are still buying things from you. And that's a good thing. So you still have your dream. If your dream is tied to stuff that you feel is perverted or distorted or unethical, that's when your dream becomes polluted, you know? And you should make that decision if you want to walk around with a polluted dream, not be coerced or forced into it. But anyway, this Moalola Ogunlesi Spring Fashion 2023, I was scrolling. I saw one of the designs that she had put her model in. I mean, it really wasn't anything. It was like two yellow bandages that went down. This woman didn't even have her anything covering this. And then people were just glowing about it. I mean, the social media was really trying to, put this outfit. That, let's face it, it's not an outfit. It's not a design. There was no fabric to it, and I just thought, well, do people not see that the emperor has no clothes still? All these years later, there's no fabric. Therefore, it's not clothing. But we're calling it clothing. Said, I told my husband, just, point out the wall that I can go headbutt myself in. Because I don't understand. I mean, what's going on with people? Nancy Pelosi. Oh, this one was my favorite. I know everyone's already talked about it, and I can't add anything to it. Did she or did she not elbow the child? That's the question. Oh, how her publicist came out and said some nonsense. I think it was something to the effect of, they said something like, she was trying to, usher the child in. She wasn't, Oh my gosh. I mean, we saw the video. She looked down, like, in my mind, if I was going to play that, in my mind, it just seemed, while she was keeping her, like, girl, you're in my spot. Elbow, Get out of here. All I want to say is that if she was going to usher in a child, even if the child wasn't her own, I'm sure her grandchildren get special privileges. They get the good hugs, right? Not these random children that are stealing her thunder. But, even if we were going to go to the Bible, which I think I've read someplace that she's very religious. She's Catholic, too. Even if we are going to look at just some of the images that are all out there circulating about how Jesus welcomed the children. The children that he said that we should be like, so we can get into the kingdom of heaven. I don't think that it was, I just don't think it was that gesture. I think that we could have believed her, even if we don't like her. But you know how I feel about that. You can go to any of my other videos. That her gesture would have been that. You know, like this. I'm trying to put it in the camera, like, oh. Why would you put your sharp elbow into a little child and then try to cover it up and call it, you know, a welcoming hug? I mean, it was beyond ridiculous. It was really, truly beyond ridiculous. I don't know how you think you could play that off. I mean, I guess she's happy that the whole rest of America's crumbling to pieces and bits now, so that we can get off our minds the fact that she did it in the first place. You know? Next one. Fauci. I don't really have much to say about him. My stomach hurts when I talk about him. I just want to know, because I saw that he himself had said that he had gotten the you-know-what. But when he was saying it, I mean, the corners of his mouth were going up, almost as if he was happy. I just want to know, at the tender age of 81, how he overcame it so swiftly in a way that other senior citizens couldn't. I mean, how did he not get sick at all and still claim to be sick? It's very interesting. I think we should all get what he was getting. His immune system, huh? And that's something to pay for, isn't it? Last one, not a surprise. Ghislaine Maxwell. There's nothing much to say. She got 20 years sentence, I believe, a 20-year sentence. And what I don't understand is how we have all these recipients of abuse. And we have her as a perpetrator of a crime and mostly the conduit to the crime. And then we have Epstein, who's dead. But where are the others? Why are we being made to be treated as if this was some big feat in judgment or justice? This was a big feat in justice, when no other criminals have been named. People not interested in knowing who else is out there? Because at this rate, you have one conduit and hundreds probably of criminals. And now what you're saying, basically, in a sense, is, hey, they can go get another conduit and now go hundreds of them perpetrate the same crime. The conduit is not going to stop them. They just have to find one. Whereas she can't even name the hundreds. Something's wrong with that picture. Anyway, these are the things that have been on my mind, making me go, time to go run for the hills. I'm running for the hills. I probably won't be back for a while. All right, bye-bye.